depression and anxiety, they'll go after anybody. You're not alone. Allow yourself to be impressed by humanity and by other people. I think when you're dealing with these struggles and you get that tunnel vision, you kind of feel like everybody's against you and you haven't even given them the chance.
Welcome to The Breakdown, where we break down the concept of mental health so we'll all understand it a little better. I'm your host, Michelle Lacey, and the person you just heard speaking was none other than Jared Padalecki. If you're not familiar with him, he's an actor native to Austin, Texas, and he starred in films such as House of Wax, Friday the 13th, the new Walker Texas Ranger reboot, and my favorite, Supernatural. Now, I began this episode with him because he's really who inspired me to open up about my mental health. Because when I would see him in interviews talking about his mental health, I realized that we kind of had a lot more in common than I thought. Because he stated that he was afraid to open up about his mental health because he thought that it would hurt people around him. And it was the same for me, but I also thought that if I opened up about it, people would be like, oh, she's just wanting attention. And that wasn't the case. And I liked when he said to give humanity a chance, because you get this sort of tunnel vision and you think everybody's against you when that's not the case at all. There's a lot of people out there who really want to help you if you give them the chance. And he also came up with this mental health awareness campaign called Always Keep Fighting. And it's very special to me because the meaning behind it is that no matter what life throws your way, no matter what anxiety or depression has you believing, you keep fighting, because at the end of the day, you're going to win. Every day you wake up and do what you have to do, you're a winner in my book and everybody else's book who understands what you're going through. And there is no better time to be hearing these words of encouragement because it is finals week. And I hope everybody is, studied up, rested up, and ready to attack these finals. So, Fork of Demons, and without further ado, I have a very special guest here with me today who we didn't really get to introduce properly last time. So, River, would you like to introduce yourself?
Alright, reason why we didn't introduce me as well is because I was a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous. But my name is River May. I'm 21 years old. I used to go here back in 2018, but I ended up getting my girlfriend at the time pregnant. Y'all know that. And had to be a man real quick. So I'm currently working in construction right now. And my daughter's 2 years old now. And I love her to death. Like, she's the reason that I keep going every day. Like, she's my inspiration. And yeah, that's me. And I'm here to talk about this mental health with my favorite cousin, Michelle.
Yes, not to mention we are cousins, but more like siblings. Like, I consider him to be my brother.
Most definitely.
Okay, so today we're going to be discussing a very important topic, and that is women and mental health versus men and mental health. So, what is your take on women and mental health first?
Well, first, when it comes to men and women they normally tend to be more emotional, right? And men tend to be more locked up, hard-headed, not want to open up at all. They just have a hard shell around it. But since we're going to talk about women first, with them being a little emotional, it's easier for them to open up, because when you're emotional, you just dump all your emotions out because that's all you know how to deal with.
Right. And as a woman myself, we are, more emotional, but the bigger problem is we don't know how to express our emotions most of the time, and we may not be able to tell you guys that. So we might explode, or we might have an attitude in that what y'all think is, oh, they're crazy, oh, they're a crybaby, they can't handle this, that, and other. And it's not that. It's just that we're so overwhelmed with emotion, we don't know how to express ourselves. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, you say you don't know how to express yourself with emotions, but that is how y'all do it. That's the way y'all cope with mental health, is your emotions. because we don't know the right way to do it yet or the helpful way to do it yet. So when it comes to women, they use their emotions to express their mental health. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but technically there are healthier ways to deal with your emotions, to deal with mental health. That's just the first thing we do off instinct. So there are better ways we can do it, but
society led it to y'all to use your emotions.
Exactly. But
we don't know no other way right now. It is not talked about enough to give us any ways to do it. So we just do what everybody else do.
Right. That's basically what I was about to say. You have to understand. We have to understand it first before we can, solve the problem. You have to understand the problem before you can solve the problem. So
that's with anything. You can't just jump on a bike and ride it. You got to know what. All right, the pedal goes forward, the tires go spin. That's how you get on and do it.
Right.
You got to evaluate first.
It's like it's an everyday learning process with this. We also, I feel like, for everybody, men and women, the way we deal with things, the way we handle certain problems is based off of how we were raised, what traumas were inflicted on us as we were growing up. For like men, some men were raised in families where they had to be strong, they had to be tough, they couldn't show any kind of emotion.
You are describing me.
Right. They couldn't show any type of emotion because that's not what men do. Men are tough. Men are strong.
Like I said earlier, society got it like that.
And that's not the case.
Nope. But and men need to get it in their head. It's okay to express your emotions.
Right.
Once we understand that, the men would be a lot better off mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yes.
When you said about being raised and had to be strong, that's why I'm so strong today, because of my dad.
Yeah.
I lost my mom for a short period, not a short, about 7 years. I had no contact with her. It was strictly my dad. And men or boys growing up need their mother, and that's how they tap into the emotional side of them, because their dad ain't gonna do it. He gonna teach them how to be a man. And society today teaches the man to be strong. You don't cry. I got a lot of friends that don't like to cry. It's okay to cry. Let it out. You know what I'm saying? But my daddy, plus him being older, that had a lot to do with it too. His pride and ego, it is beyond ridiculous. And I didn't see that growing up until now. Well, about 2 years ago, when I started talking to my mother more, and she started helping me realize, I was so hard-headed, 18 years old. I was hard-headed. Wasn't listening to nothing. What you want to go get me to talk about anything? I would not be doing this right now. 3 years ago, I would not. I just didn't see it.
You wouldn't know what to say.
Exactly. So more and more I talked to my mother, the more and more she was showing me what I've been missing, over that period of time she was missing. And my dad was just too much of a pride and ego person. He don't show emotions. I've only seen him cry a couple times in my whole 21 years of living. And that's not okay, because I know he has problems. I see it now, that if he would talk about that, he would feel a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't think I ever get him to see it, but me personally, I think that's why I'm doing it and want to do it with you, because it's gonna help me be a better person. I'm gonna even feel better. Feel like weight comes off your shoulders when you talk about stuff. That's why I just like talking about to all my family, all my friends. Hey, let's talk about it. Let it out. It's okay. It's okay to cry.
That's crazy because I actually had a doctor's appointment yesterday for a checkup on my mental health. And I was talking to my doctor, and for starters, she said that she could see that I've gotten better. And I told her that part of the reason that I've gotten better was because I'm doing this podcast. I was getting better before this, but when I started this podcast and I was able to actually talk about everything and, just put it all out there, I felt better. And another thing, you're talking about your dad with his ego and his pride, mine the same way. Only difference is I'm a girl, you're a boy.
Mhm.
My dad would give me the advice of, don't cry about it. It's okay. You can't do nothing about it.
Mhm.
Be strong because you're a Lacey. You know my last name is Lacey. Like, you're a Lacey, you're strong. Whereas my mom, she would tell me, if you need to cry, cry about it.
Exactly.
If you need to let it out, let it out. And you'll feel better. Whereas my dad, I kind of got the mentality that crying makes you weak. Crying is not something you want to do,
And
because if
that's
somebody
not
sees you
always the
crying,
case.
you're weak. And it took me a long time to realize that if I need to cry, I'm gonna cry.
Mhm.
If I need to yell, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna get this frustration out of me so that I can feel better. Because if I hold it in, it's not gonna become nothing but bitter.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be
always
bitter.
Tensed up. You
Yeah.
always be tight, and when you're tight and tensed up, that leads to stress. And when you're stressing, that leads to everything else: depression, anxiety, all that. So I mean, yeah, we just need to open up more, especially men. Like, I'm speaking from experience. It's
Yeah.
not good. Man, if I'd have done this in high school, I would probably be so much far in life right now. I wouldn't be so hard headed and not want to listen about this being mental health and stuff. Like, that's why I'm just glad I got it now, and that I've already started the beginning stage.
Yeah, it's never too late to, tighten up and
Mhm.
realize, like, look, I have feelings. They are valid. They need to be heard.
Mhm.
And they're not any less than anybody else's feelings. Everybody's feelings matter. And mine matters the most to me. And so I need to do what I can do to better myself so that I can be a light to other people.
Mhm.
Well, that was a much needed conversation, and there is so much more that could be said. But that's all the time we have for today. So,
We'll see y'all next time on
the breakdown.